So, as you all know, I'm starting a YouTube channel and all that, so a little bit of a different setup for today. You won't see as much as me since we're doing this now. But yeah, so let's get started. Today I am making a summer spaghetti. So what you need is 3 garlic cloves, kosher salt, olive oil, balsamic vinegar, Parmesan cheese, basil leaves, red pepper, cherry tomatoes, one of my favorite. Obviously spaghetti noodles, and it calls for, let me find it here real quick. It calls for, it calls for pancetta, which is basically Italian bacon. So yeah. So just keep that in mind. It's basically bacon. That's what I'm using anyways. So yeah, let's get started here. So I already got my water boiling, as you can see. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a quarter teaspoon. That's backwards, but that's alright. Quarter cup of teaspoon into the water. Okay. So quarter teaspoon in there, like that. And what I use, I'm just gonna face backwards, that way I know I already used it. So we're gonna let that boil in there for a bit. Okay. And then next, quarter zucchini. Okay. So, and yes, this is the first time I'm actually using a recipe, not something I know how to make. Let's see. How are we gonna do this? Oh, perfect. Okay. So, zucchini. I already washed it. I cut off the ends and all that. It says to slice it long ways. So that's what we're gonna do. So slice it long ways. Then slice it into quarter it, as they say in the book. So that's what we're doing here. Always be careful not to cut yourself. And then, once we do that, it says cut it into 1/4 inch thick pieces. Yeah, so 1/4 inch thick pieces. So we'll go ahead and do that. Obviously, it doesn't have to be exact. I need to move this over here. Let's see. Is that gonna stay? Yes, it is. Okay. Perfect. So, just like that. And like that. Okay? So that's one of the zucchinis done. Put that off to the side there like that. We will then cut the other half of the zucchini. And yeah, I know there's no background music, copyright, so. Okay, so now that all of these are cut up, and I'm just gonna throw the end pieces here into the trash. So, once we do that, it says to set all of these aside. So I will set these to the far side of the cutting board. You can put them in a container or whatever. Just remember that you still have those. Then it says heat the olive oil. So we need olive oil. So you're gonna need 2 teaspoons. That's backwards or upside down. One of them. You need 2 teaspoons of the virgin olive oil. Let's see, how am I gonna do that? Okay, so my mom has informed me that I should cut the tomatoes first. So, you need 3 cups. I'm using 2 because that's all we have. And we're just gonna cut them in half. Now these are very small, so be very careful not to cut yourself. I'm cutting them wide, like this, so they're not long ways. Because you're more likely to cut yourself cutting it long ways, or at least I think so. Someone fact check that for me, please. But we'll just cut all of these up like this. That is obviously this process of cutting, not one of the exciting parts of cooking, but it's all worth it in the end. So if you guys want me to do like a tutorial on like how to cut certain fruits or something like that, let me know. How to use a knife, what's the best knife, how to sharpen it, things like that. Obviously I can only do so much, but I will try to do it. Okay, we're about and definitely wipe off your knife as needed, because sometimes they're not as sharp when they have stuff on them. And I just realized you can't exactly see me cutting them, but that's alright. I hope. But we're almost done here. Only a couple more. Okay. So I started my boiling early. So mine is already boiling, so I'm going to try to hurry this up a little bit. Not too much though, because don't want to cut myself. I am going to try to find a schedule on like when I'm gonna cook and all that. So I'm going to put, okay, so knife, I'm going to put off to the side here by my computer. And I'm going to put all the cherry tomatoes into the measuring cup, because that will make it easier for me to pour into the pan and all that. Now, the recipe does call for 2 zucchini. We only have 1, so we're working with what we got. So I'm going to set those off to the side here. And then I will put the olive oil in, along with the tomatoes, and on the saute pan. I'm just reading through the recipe here. It looks like we need add the shallot and cook until soft, zucchini. Okay, so pan pancake. Okay, so we're going to get. Ooh, how am I gonna do this? Okay, you know what? This will work. I think. Does that work? Yes, it does. Okay, cool. So, as you can see, I was gonna use my computer. Takes a while. That's all right. I'm gonna come over here to this side. Try not to burn myself. You're going to get your olive oil. 2 teaspoons of this. Be careful it doesn't flame up at you or anything like that. I'm gonna have my mom get me a bowl to put all the used like measuring cups and all that into. Just so there's not too much of a mess to clean up. Always clean up as you go. So it calls for the, let's see, when the oil is hot and simmering, add the pancetta, which is the bacon. I'm gonna do that before, because the oil can ruin the pans. That pops back at me. Be careful of the grease splatters because they burn very badly, as you can tell, because I basically just burnt my hand off on that. So I'll put, goodness, okay. I didn't plan this very well. So now we add in until lightly browned, add the garlic. So we need 3 cloves. So that's 3 of these, I believe. And yes, I know I'm not in frame for a lot of this. That's alright. I don't need to be. As long as you guys are seeing me cook and all that, then that's alright. So you need 3 garlic cloves. Okay, so I added, okay, so, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, so, that is it for the garlic. So now, add garlic and pepper flakes. So how many? 63 seconds. Okay, that's alright. So I need a spoon or spatula. I'm gonna use a spatula. So I can kind of keep my distance so I don't get burnt by the bacon. If you do have a grease catcher, I really do recommend using that. Because that would be much more effective than having your hand burnt. So once we add that, we need to add a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Yeah, cayenne red pepper. That's not gonna work, so I'm gonna have to take the lid off with this, but that's alright. 1/4 teaspoon of that into the pot, or not pot, into the pan. Okay. That is it for that. Then, add shallots. Onion. Okay. We're not adding in shallots because I don't like shallots. So, I'm gonna keep that out of the recipe. 2 minutes, add the zucchini and cherry tomato. Okay. So now we get to add in the zucchini and the cherry tomatoes. So, that all being said, try to fit as much of that in here. That's not good. That's kind of burning. Okay. You just want to pour it all in. That way none of the grease can catch you. You want to mix it around and all that. Just so nothing burns. So we're going to mix this around. Bacon is not quite cooked yet. That's alright. If we need to take it out and cook it more, we will. Let's see. After that, it says 7 to 8 minutes. So I'm going to pause this real quick. And set time for 8 to 10 minutes or 7. Okay, so I have a timer set for 7 minutes. If we need to go longer, we will. Until then, we're gonna add in 4 ounces of spaghetti pasta. So now, you guys shall come back over here. Can you see that? Not quite. Can you see that? Yes. Okay. So now, we're going to take about half the packet here. And I'm going to dump about half of it out. Not sure if you saw that or not. Now, I'll take all of that. That's basically a handful. At least for me anyways. And yeah, it just says throw them in there. So, make sure you don't burn your hand on the steam, because I know steam, not very painful. You'd be very surprised. Oh yeah. So while that is going, we're going to add add the pasta to the summer sauce. Okay. So what is in the saute pan is considered the summer sauce. And so it says once that is done cooking, we'll drain the noodles and all that. Oh, you guys can't see me. We'll drain the noodles and all that. And then after that, it says to mix it all together and then distribute it. So we're going to let all of those dry, or not dry, cook. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. We'll let all those cook. And then, yeah, so I'll bring you back over here so you can see all of them. I'm left-handed, so this is a interesting combination here with all of that stuff, but that's all right. So, I'm going to turn the heat back up on here. I'm going to turn it up to 9-ish. As I thought, bacon is taking a little longer to cook. than I thought. So, that being said, probably stick it in the oven for a little bit. I'm going to try to find a lid for for the pot. Oh, that's too hot. If you can barely hear yourself while you talk, that's a good sign, because that means it's cooking. As I always say, keep an eye on it. Make sure it doesn't burn. Stir as needed. I'm going to try to let the bacon sit for a little bit. Ow. Grease is flinging out at me. So, yeah. So, all that being said, that is basically how you make summer spaghetti. When I post this, both on Instagram and on YouTube, I'll start sending out photos of the recipe, and like all the instructions and all that. As I said, send out instructions. I did not make the mac and cheese today because I do not have the ingredients for it yet. So expect that to be out tomorrow or sometime this week. I am trying to post every day this week, so expect that. The noodles are getting a little bit out of control, but that's alright. I need to find another. Oh, I should probably move that. Let's see. Let's see. Where does it say to add bay leaves? Okay, so turns out I actually forgot a step. Bay leaves. Okay. You whip it off. You whip off the leaf, and you cut it. So, I'll add this both into the current pot and also into the afterward project as well. Well, simmer, do all that. Meanwhile, the pasta and the drink. Okay. So, while that is doing that, I'm going to drop some of the bay leaves. And I'm not going to use all of them. I'm going to be generous with it. So, with that being said, that is basically it. Let's try to bring you over here. Yes, I know, you get to look at my ceiling. Ooh. Flying out at me. Alright, so that was 7 minutes. Obviously, bacon is not obviously, not sure if you can see that or not. Bacon is not cooked. So what we're gonna do is we're probably gonna have to take the bacon out, and like microwave it or something like that, because everything else is beginning to burn a little bit. So, all that being said, always keep a close eye on things, because obviously, you don't want to eat raw meat. You eat raw meat, you're going to get salmonella, you're going to get food poisoning. You don't need that. So keep an eye on it. If you need to go longer than the instructions say, go longer. If you like your vegetables, your fruit and vegetables, more burnt, yeah, cook it longer. If you like it less burnt, cook it less. So with that being said, I will most likely end it here. And I will check up on the noodles, which look like they are ready. So I'm gonna end it here, and I'll be back when we are ready to plate all of this. So thank you for joining. Come back for part 2 on this. See ya. As I thought, we were gonna have to microwave the bacon, so maybe you guys will too. I also found that I kind of messed up the recipe a little bit, but that's alright. So now, not sure if you can see that or not. Or here, let's do this. Let's do this. So now, we have the noodles in, which we strained. We put in the zucchini, the tomatoes, which makes up the summer sauce. If you want more olive oil or whatever there, you can add it in. But yeah, so finish mixing this, which that's alright for right now. And then, well, that's it. Yeah, so that's how you do it. I mean, there's nothing else to it. You want more bacon, add more bacon. You want more tomatoes, add more tomatoes. You want more spaghetti, add more spaghetti. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, hopefully I'll get the mac and cheese video out tomorrow. Maybe sometime this week. I don't know yet. But yeah, so that'll end it for the summer spaghetti. See you tomorrow.